It's winter again, and what do I do to have fun with my drones when the weather is like this? Well, I go and I take my Mobula6 to fly indoors and have a little bit of fun while I can go out and fly. Still, my concept of having fun with the Mobula6, it's more about flying inside my house, maybe having some chairs as obstacles and trying to go through small gaps more and more to get better with the sticks. Until I saw this guy flying in his office with his Mobula6 doing things that I could never think you can do with such small drones. And I had to go and ask him, how the hell are you doing all this?
Hi, I'm Ignas, or also known as Tricky FPV. I've been flying FPV for some years now. Usually I fly 5-inch freestyle. I also do a lot of drift chasing and some other cinematic stuff. Unfortunately, here in Sweden, the season for all that is pretty short, and I always felt missing out on flying over the winter season. So this year I decided to change that and give tinywhoops a try. So I got myself a few Mobulas, both analog and HDZero versions. But directly I realized they feel very underpowered to do anything close to what you can do with a 5-inch drone. And with that in mind, I did some research online to see what's out there that could improve their performance. The Mobula6 is a great little drone. Both the analog and HDZero versions are a lot of fun to fly around in tighter spots, but I feel they don't have enough power with their stock setup. What I did was upgrade my motors to highest kV I could get, so anything from 26,000 kV or higher, around 702 size for 65mm whoops is pretty good, I think. I also feel the stock 1002 20,000 kV motors on Mob-Lite 7 are pretty great, and I never felt the need to switch to anything else yet. One other improvement that gives a high gain is switching to BT2.0 battery connector. Just doing that, you will notice a significant difference in how the whoop performs. I also updated my ESCs with BlueJ 96 kHz PWM, and that gives you a little bit more flight time. And finally, I also switched to 3-blade props for the extra grip. The ones I use are Gemfan 1608s. I've also heard people try 4-blade props with great results. So with these few upgrades, my whoops have become much more freestyle capable, and with a lot of practice you can really push it to do a lot of the same tricks that you can do with a 5-inch drone. I even tried using whoops to chase RC drift cars at a local RC club, and it sort of felt the same as chasing a real car. What I also love about whoops is they create so many more opportunities for new spots to fly, as well as they don't break as often, and when they do, the parts are much cheaper and easier to replace.
Obviously, after listening to Ignas, I got so excited that I had to go and pimp my Mobula6. In the case of the HDZero version of the Mobula6, the motors are actually soldered. So we're gonna have to unmount the motors and resolder to get our 070 to 26 kV. Now we have changed the motors to 0702 26 kV. I was thinking to do the test with the PH2 contact, battery contact, and the new motors, but yeah, once I connected the battery, the video on the VTX just disappeared. I mean, it starts, when I turn on the motors, the video disappears. And then I was thinking what the hell was happening, and I decided to change the power to BT2.0 because it was the feeling like when you don't have enough battery, it was what was happening. I changed to BT2.0 and now that problem disappeared, which means that using these motors you need to change the power to this kind of connector, otherwise it's not going to work. And now I have modified with the motors that he recommended, and I'm just gonna have to go out there and try to learn to fly that style with this small Mobula6 inside my house and see if I can do something myself. Most probably this setup is not for everyone. Wait 1 second. Actually, after I've been playing around with this drone and talking to a lot of people about what's happening and how different the drone is, we have come to one conclusion, and it's the fact that this setup can be for everyone, because you have more power on the drone, but if you are a beginner, you can just limit throttle the drone and you will still have the regular way of flying that you had with the old motors, with the difference that now if you want the power, whenever you are ready to get that power, you just configure it out and you have it. There is no difference on time, flying time. I'm getting kind of the same time independently of the motors. It's the same weight, the old way and the new way. So it's a bit like, yeah, actually, this setup is for everyone. I think that's a great idea. That combination motor plus the power connector is going to give you, or in theory, enough to do things like Ignas is doing. Of course, you have to be a good pilot as he is in order to do those kind of things, but at least you have the machine that allows you to do those things. Since you're changing the motors and the power cable, your drone is completely different now, and it's gonna need a new PI tuning. Since this one that is here is not good at PI tuning, I'm going to the community to see if they can help me to figure out what's gonna be good for this drone. The number one thing that I got recommended was to change to Blue Jay 96K, so we can enable RPM filtering and then use one of those tunings that are available in Betafly 4.4 onwards. This new tuning is what is going to help us being able to fly the drone with these new motors and with much more power coming from the battery, the BT2.0 connector, in a smooth way. In my case, it was working perfectly. I could fly very well with the new tuning until I broke the drone, the canopy of the drone, and then I started to get some flyaways, and I know I need to change the canopy and most probably the frame so the tune can work again and I can start flying my drone again. But if you are up to the challenge, this is gonna be fun. You can pimp your own Mobula6. In the case of Ignas and me, we're using the HDZero version of this because the VTX for HDZero is the lighter of all of them. I'm not sure that you can achieve this kind of performance with a Voxnail VTX, for example. Actually, if you think about it, Happymodel doesn't do a Voxnail version of the Mobula6. They go to a higher 75 millimeters, like the Mobula6 7, for example, which makes me think that it's not going to work on such a small drone like this one. Hopefully, looking at what Ignas is doing and what I'm trying to do with his advices, it's also inspiring you to do some changes. If you want, I have the Mobula6 in the shop, the HDZero version. You can go and get it, and I have also the motors in stock, so you can do these modifications yourself and try to get up to the challenge of doing this nice flying in your house, office, or anywhere inside with this little drone. Thank you for watching. See you soon and have a lot of fun.